Welcome back to the Living Proof Recovery Podcast. I'm Evan, joined with Brian.
What's up, guys?
Real quick, the Living Proof Recovery Podcast is not affiliated with AA or any 12-step recovery program. We just share our experience and our opinions on our recovery journey. So with that being said, we will go ahead and let Brian kind of kick off with our topic for tonight.
All right. Welcome back, guys. Well, first of all, I want to kind of bring up that this makes 1 year of us doing this, right? This is our
Yeah.
52nd episode.
Yeah.
It's a little bit past a year because we've had a few weeks where we've had some difficulties,
Yeah, we're still learning.
still learning that's a good way to frame it, right?
Yeah.
Slowly but surely. So what I wanted to talk about tonight was, have you ever signed up for something because the offer looked so incredible of what it was promising, right? So what I'm trying to talk about here is addiction is very attractive with the contract that it sells us, right? So, um, but there's fine print, right? So,
Right.
but when we sign up for it, we don't read the fine print, or if we do, we ignore the fine print. But so, in your experience, what did addiction, alcoholism, what did it promise you?
Looking at it from the beginning, when I first started using, it looked great because whenever I would drink or use a substance, I instantly felt like I belonged.
Mm-hmm.
It made me feel like I had arrived. Like this is what I was supposed to be feeling for my whole life until that point. And it allowed me to open up more and be more social
Mm-hmm.
at that time, right? And it just made me feel like that's what I had been missing. This was the missing piece to complete Evan,
Right.
you know.
So it had you at hello.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, me too. So kind of the same things, right? But there's just so many things. Like it promised me courage, strength,
Well, yeah,
freedom, comfort, um,
those are
belonging.
those are
Fr
all the things that I felt like I was missing,
right.
but when I used, I had those things.
Yeah.
I was able to fit in. I felt like
Friendship.
I could accomplish more if I was getting all this stuff done because I'm
Yeah.
just moving and going.
Right. Yeah. Something I can depend on.
Yeah.
Right. So something I can trust. Right. I know
Hmm.
that when I put that substance, whatever it is, in my body, that it's going to deliver.
Hmm.
It's going to give me that comfort that I'm looking for, right? So these are some of the things that, I mean, if you think about it, right, like why wouldn't I sign up for that?
Yeah.
Because without it, I'm the opposite, right? I'm lost. I'm alone.
Hmm.
I'm shy.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the things that it did for me was give me the courage to be outgoing,
Mhm.
to talk to females.
Yeah.
Liquid courage. That's what they call it, right? Liquid
Hmm.
courage. Like, yeah, I'll go out there on the dance floor. About 4 shots in, I'll go dance. I might look like I'm having a seizure,
Right.
but I'll go out there, or I'll go talk to that girl. If she says no, that's okay. On to the next one.
Yeah.
One of them will say yes
Yeah.
eventually,
Right.
right? But without that, I wouldn't talk to anybody. I
Yeah.
just be in my little shell, in my hole, right? And just the all of that fear that I dealt with on a daily basis. And I probably, if you asked me then, I wouldn't be able to identify it as fear, but
Yeah.
that's what it was. It was just not feeling okay.
Yeah.
But then once I started drinking or doing drugs, like that just, it fixed that. Right. So I obviously would keep going back to it because it delivered and it delivered. But that's what it promises us, right? It promises this it's a false promise.
Yeah.
It's a temporary
Mhm.
promise, right? But what did it so early on, that's what it delivered on its promise,
Right.
right? But further down the road, what did it actually deliver for you?
Fuck. Um, a lot of misery, a lot of pain, um, empty pockets.
Truckloads of pain.
Right. Um, broken
What
relationships.
what kind of pain? What kind of pain?
What
Like,
kind of pain?
yeah, like physical,
All of it.
emotional, all of it, right?
Physical, the waking up without the dope. Now I'm in physical withdrawal. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
physical pain. The emotional pain that it brought to me, the mental pain. All the pains.
Yeah.
It brought all of it. And um,
And which is the opposite of what it promised, right? Because it promised to numb the pain.
oh yeah,
And
because
then,
eventually it quit working.
yeah.
I was no longer using to get those effects that I was getting in the beginning, obviously. Now it was just a necessity to survive,
Mm-hmm.
to feel normal. I had to do it at that point. Um,
So what did it start to actually cost you? So when the fine print of that contract shows up in the bills due, right? Like what did it actually cost? What did it start demanding from you?
I mean, for mine, by any means necessary,
Right.
cost me my freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I've done time locked up because of
Yeah.
my drug addiction and um, lost a lot of relationships in my life, family, friends. It cost me everything, and it brought me to, places that I never thought I would see,
Yeah.
right? That's what it delivered on.
Yeah. It's like, God, I'm just thinking about some of the things that it put me in places with people that I should never be around,
Yeah.
doing things that I would never imagine that I would do.
Yeah.
It's like leave the bar with Beyonce and wake up with
Mhm.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
We'll
I mean,
see.
same stuff. Like, it cost me relationships. It cost me peace. It
Mhm.
cost me dignity.
Yeah.
You know, all of the things.
Yeah.
Like everything that it promised, it did the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, but
Brought me to kicking indoors
mhm.
and
And you
burden.
weren't raised like that.
No, not at all.
I know your mom. I know she didn't
Right.
raise you like that.
And that's what it delivered on was a life of crime and whatever it took to get the next one,
Mhm.
stealing from family. It didn't matter,
Right.
whatever it took.
Yeah. So it'll take your morals. It'll take your integrity. It'll
Hmm.
take your peace, and eventually, it'll last for your life.
Yeah.
Right? It'll take your life eventually. So but looking back, man, it's like, okay, you would have to think a person would have to be crazy to sign up for a contract like that.
Well, yeah.
Like if I wrote out a contract for you, right, and was like, here's what you're going to get, right? First 5 years of the contract, bliss. It's going to be great,
Hmm.
but after that, you're going to go to jail. You're going to lose all your relationships. You're bankrupt. Like everything's
Yeah.
fucked, and
The
you're probably
way,
going to die. You want to sign this contract?
right. The
Uh,
way, which is funny because what I'm sitting here thinking of as we're talking about this is Tony Melito,
Dealer for the
dealer
people.
for the people. Because even the other day, and I heard a couple commercials back to back, and I called my sponsor and was talking to him on the way to work, and I was like, dude, I just heard multiple commercials back to back, and it killed me because he's hyped up and he's amping up these deals and
Selling it.
he's selling it to you, he's selling it
Right.
to you. But if you really listen to the commercial at the very end of it when it's over, it goes on for a second and it just sounds like there's nothing happening. But if you turn your volume up,
That's a
you hear the
disclaimer,
disclaimer
the fine
because
print.
as they're
Yeah,
whispering really fast, the disclaimer, the fine print that
yeah,
you don't. That's what addiction does.
that's exactly what
That
it
is
does.
exactly what it was, and
Y-
that's what I was getting at with him. Was like, man, it's crazy. You know what I
mhm.
mean? It's
I've never heard the fine print.
yeah. Next
You
time you
know,
hear one of his commercials, as it's getting to the end, turn your volume all the way up and you'll finally hear it.
yeah,
You won't really hear it because they're whispering so fast, but you will hear it. There's something there.
if you buy a car from us, you're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like you don't know what
yeah,
it's saying, but it's
yeah,
saying something,
yeah.
and it's something they don't want you to hear.
Right. Yeah, but I guess legally they have to disclose,
Hmm.
that they're selling snake oil.
Yeah,
They're selling dreams. If you got
and
bad credit,
yeah,
your car's worth $300. We'll give you
and
10 grand for it.
the next one right after that was like some type of law firm trying to get people to sign up for some
Lawsuit.
lawsuit or
Yeah.
something, and at the very end of it, it wasn't as quiet as those ones, but
Mhm.
like that sound when you like used to hit fast forward on like your
The
VCR tape.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it was doing as they were talking,
Right.
and I was
Talking.
like, "This is
It's like they just
crazy!"
sped
Like
it up real
I
quick.
trust them with my life.
Right.
That,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's nuts, man. Like, but thinking about like, so no, a sane person wouldn't sign that contract.
right.
Right. But I was thinking about this the other day. If I could get in a time machine and go back and you could present the contract to me, like no one, when we're doing it, we don't really know what we're signing up for, right? We don't know. We know drugs are bad. We see what it does to people. But if I could go back and redo it, man, I would probably sign the contract again, right? Knowing what I know now, I would
Yeah.
sign the contract again, which is crazy. People hear that like, you're still crazy. Like, no, I'm not, because alcohol and drugs kept me alive,
Hmm.
right? Like, so it did deliver on a temporary basis that kept me from killing myself,
Yeah.
right? Because if I would have had to go through life feeling that irritability, that discomfort, who knows what I would have done? Like I know the things that I did do when I didn't have it, because I was not okay,
Right.
So looking back, I probably would still sign it, which is insane. Like to look back and think, yeah, I probably still would have done it.
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't be sitting here today if we wouldn't have signed that contract.
Right. And that's
So it's kind of like we can't regret
well,
the
that's
past, but
yeah, that's the way I look at it too. Like I don't because I've had people ask me that too. Like, well, if you would you do things differently? And everybody can say certain points in their life. Yeah, I wish I would have done something differently.
right,
But when you really look at when I really look at my life today and where I'm at and everything that I have today is because I'm a drug addict and an alcoholic.
right,
I wouldn't have the things I have. I wouldn't have the family and the relationships that I have today, or I wouldn't have anything if I
you
was
might not have any purpose.
right. Like I wouldn't be who I am today. So I like to say if I could go back in time, I would just want to make sure I did everything the same way.
Right.
A lot
Yeah.
of it's a blur though, so I don't know if I would.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I don't regret. Obviously, I have remorse and I've done a lot of terrible things in
Right.
my
Things we
life.
wish we hadn't done.
Things that I
For
wish I
sure.
hadn't done.
People we've hurt that we wish
Right,
we could take back.
absolutely. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't want to change any of it
Right.
because of what it's done for my life today. And people like my family, like
Right.
the way things are today versus how they used to be,
Hmm.
even when it comes to the people I hurt and things that I did to hurt them, like obviously I have remorse for those things and wish those things would have never happened.
But those things shape us
Right.
into who we are,
Yeah.
and like I don't think, and I don't know, because we can't go back in time and say if I would have done things differently, I don't know where I would be today. I have no
Hmm.
idea.
Yeah.
But the chances of me having humility and the amount of willingness that I have today and the love that I have for people and understanding probably
Mhm.
wouldn't have that,
Yeah.
because I lack in it sometimes now,
Right.
so I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have very much of it. So when we're in the thick of it, right? Why do we keep renewing the contract? Because we keep renewing it every day.
When I was in active
Yeah.
addiction, um,
Because at
I
that point, we know it's a bad contract. Like once the pain has started and the glory days of it are
Mhm.
gone, and
Well,
it's just
because
I'm dope sick. Like
well,
these days suck. I gotta steal from my kids, like things like that to get another fix. Like, why do I keep signing up for that?
I think for me it was um, a lot of ego and pride
Mm-hmm.
that kept me going. Um, I had to. I couldn't go without.
There it is. Yeah.
I
I mean,
couldn't.
have to. You're
Yeah, I had
powerless.
no choice. I had
Yeah.
lost. I'd already crossed that line
Yeah.
years before that. I had
Mm-hmm.
no choice. That was the only option, was to the bitter ends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was it.
Well, we don't know. So I think a lot of it is the reason why we keep doing it is, well, number one, I think we're powerless. And number
Hmm.
two, I think it's ignorance, right? Like, I don't know. I think there's only one option. I think the only option is to keep going the way that I'm going, and eventually I'll figure it out,
Because
right?
if I don't, I'm sick.
Yeah. So,
I can't work.
so I'm ignorant to the fact that there's another way to live, right?
Right.
I don't know that there's a 12-step program. I don't know
Hmm.
that a relationship with a higher power can help me. I don't know that there's other people that are like me. Like, I
Yeah.
know that in my mind, but I don't believe it, right? Because I believe that I'm unique.
Yeah. And also, I didn't want other people to think I was weak,
Yeah, for sure.
and I couldn't
That's the
do. I
ego.
couldn't
Yeah,
control.
pride and the
That's why.
ego.
Yeah. That's why
Yeah,
and it kept me going because
yeah.
I can handle this.
All right. So, yeah, because it promises us heaven, but then it delivers hell,
Hmm.
is what happens, right? But so there's a contract of recovery. So both of these things, active addiction and recovery, both come with a cost,
Hmm.
right? So, and we've talked about that on here before, where we've used like an Inky Johnson clip, but you have to count the cost
Yeah.
of things, right? And so we know what the cost is of active addiction. Eventually, it's death, jails, institutions, broken relationships, suicide, like all these things that we talked about, pain. That's what the cost of it is, right? Um, but so, what does recovery promise?
Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom. That is what it promises for me. That's the
Hmm.
biggest thing. Obviously, we've talked about that before. There's so many promises in recovery,
Right.
but the ultimate promise is freedom.
Yeah. So I think that's what it delivers. So I think what it promises us is discomfort, right?
Well,
Because
yeah, absolutely.
addiction promises comfort,
Hmm.
but delivers discomfort.
Yeah.
But recovery promises discomfort and delivers comfort, right?
Right.
Because we have to get uncomfortable. It is not comfortable getting sober, right? It sucks, right? Like in the
Yeah.
beginning, it's hard, man. Like it's hard physically, it's
Hmm.
hard mentally, it's hard spiritually. Like it's just hard, right? It's
Hmm.
uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to go up to somebody you don't know or you barely know or you've just heard talk and say, "Can you help me?" That's hard.
Hmm.
That is uncomfortable.
Well, yeah.
It's uncomfortable. The detox is very uncomfortable,
Yeah.
right? We've established that on here before. Like
Hmm.
that sucks,
Yeah.
right?
Sac.
Having to level your pride
Yeah.
is uncomfortable.
Having to sacrifice that time away from family and
Is
friends,
uncomfortable.
was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's.
Going to rehab
Hmm.
and being away for 30, 60, 90, whatever, however long it
Yeah.
is, right? That's uncomfortable. Having people telling you what time to go to bed is
So I'm a
uncomfortable.
grown man.
I'm grown. You can't tell me what to do. I'm grown. Like, yeah, but you have a bedtime. It's nap time.
Right.
It's Johnny's nap time. So go take your nap and then come back in a better mood, right? I have, like having other grown people tell you where to go, how to act,
Mhm.
right? That's uncomfortable to be like, I got sober, I was 41, you know, and to learn that I don't know how to live.
Yeah.
Like I'm a child, like I learned I was like, man, I don't know how to be a responsible adult. Like mentally, I know how to. Like I know that you're supposed to pay your bills. I know that you're supposed to show up to work on time. But I just can't seem to do it
Well, yeah. There's
consistently.
other priorities
Yeah, I
there.
just can't seem to do it consistently. I haven't built those habits of doing what I say and saying what I do,
Mhm.
right? Like, so for me, I think it really promises us that discomfort. And I think that's why people quit because it's hard in the beginning, where addiction is easy in the beginning. But
Well,
at the back
yeah,
end of it, it's hard, right? But recovery is the opposite of that.
yeah,
You
because
know,
that is what
there's a cost.
takes a lot of people out.
Yeah. But
Wait a minute, wait, I gotta get uncomfortable
I got to do
while I'm
work.
sober?
I got to do work.
Yeah, I gotta do this sober? Like,
Yeah.
I gotta,
My life's supposed to be easy.
yeah, I gotta look at myself and all my selfishness and the fucked up things I did and acknowledge that and take accountability for it. And then I gotta tell somebody that I did these things.
Yeah.
And then I gotta look at these defects of character, and then I gotta make amends with these people that I hurt. Like
Yeah.
that's people don't. That's
I mean, coming
uncomfortable.
coming to terms with the fact that we're lazy as hell is a hard thing to wrap our heads around, right? Because we're the type of people that might work 60, 70 hours a week at a laborious job,
Mhm.
right? But then our sponsor asks us to read 5 pages out of the big book and we just can't find time. It's like
Right.
I just don't have time. It's like, no, you're lazy.
Yeah.
Like you are lazy. That's the problem. You've been on this 4-step for 6 months because you're fucking lazy.
Yeah.
Like that's the deal. Like if I told you that if I approached a new sponsee who's dragging their feet on a 4-step that's saying using the excuse of I just haven't had time. I got to go to meetings and I have a job and I have a family and I just don't have time to write this 4-step. It's like, but if I told you that when you get it done, I'll give you a check for $500,000 or 10 grand or $200,
Yeah.
it would be done the next day.
Oh, for sure.
And it would be the most thorough piece of writing. You could publish it,
Yeah.
right? It would be that good. It would be like, man, the punctuation's perfect, the grammar's right, like everything's good. Like this is a work of art, you know. But when it comes to just it's maybe saving our life, we don't want to pay that cost,
Yeah.
because we're lazy.
Well, yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Or we don't believe
Yeah.
that our life depends on, doing some work.
Well, and we're still in that same mindset, like how in early addiction, when we start using, it gives us that comfort, right?
Instant gratification.
Right. And
Mhm.
then even in the end, when we know we have now burned our lives to the ground and we stay out in the madness, we usually do that because that's where we're comfortable.
Mhm.
And then we get sober and we're figuring out, oh, like when I'm not putting these substances in my body, I can be comfortable in my own skin. So we don't want to get out of comfortability.
Yeah, and comfort is the enemy of your progress
Yeah.
or in recovery.
Mhm.
Like, oh, I got to find a meeting where I'm comfortable. I got to find a sponsor I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
I got to find a job that I'm comfortable. I got to find a sober living house I'm
Mhm.
comfortable with. No, you need to find something that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you need to learn how to nail your feet to the floor when you're uncomfortable
Hmm.
because life is uncomfortable,
Yeah.
right? And if you don't develop those calluses or that thick skin to be able to sit and be in those uncomfortable feelings,
Hmm.
because they're coming,
Oh yeah.
like they're
There's no way, no
100%,
way
there's no way
around them.
around it. Like they are coming. And in early recovery, they're coming fast,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the good ones are coming fast too. And we don't know how to deal with those.
Yeah.
We don't know how to deal with any kind of feelings. Like, what are these things called? Feelings? What is this? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what to,
Yeah.
why am I smiling uncontrollably?
Right.
Like, or why am I look like I'm pissed off all the time? You know, I
Yeah.
don't know what's going on. Like, 1 minute, I used to find myself doing that, just like laughing for no reason or smiling and be like, why am I smiling? Like, I'm driving down the road. Like, nothing's
Right.
going on. Like, I'm just like, I have all these different feelings. And then 30 minutes later, I'd be crying. Be like, why am I crying? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I can't regulate, you
Yeah.
know, but I had to finally get to a point where like I had to sit in that stuff
Mm-hmm.
and utilize other people,
Yeah.
which is uncomfortable. Like, hey man, I've been crying, you know, wow, what's wrong? I don't know. Like nothing, you know, like I just started crying the other day.
Well,
It's
it's
like
because
the
all of those
machismo.
things come flooding back.
Yeah.
We have pushed all those emotions down for so long
Yeah.
that, in early sobriety, it's like everything's just coming back out, and we don't,
Hmm.
like you said, we don't know how to regulate it. We don't know, like, what is this? What even is this?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Like, what is that on my face? That's air. That's
right.
that's called air. You know. So I know you've been sitting in your basement for 3 months
Right.
drinking whiskey, but that's air. That's what we call air. You know, like just all these feelings, man. It's like we have to get uncomfortable. Like that's the cost that. Like when we ask people, "Are you willing to go to any lengths?" Like, "Fuck yeah, I am." It's
Yeah.
like, okay, let's write this fourth step.
Yeah. Then
Yeah,
you
I'll get
find
to it.
out real quick.
Yeah, I'll get to it. You know, yeah, I'll get to
Mhm.
it. You know, or whatever. I'll get to that tomorrow. Like, there's no like we can't be. I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed just in myself early on, the times that I wasn't able to get it, or guys that I've sponsored that have not been able to quite grasp
Mhm.
sobriety, at least yet. Right? I want to throw that out there yet. Maybe that doesn't mean they can't
Yeah.
or they won't, you know, just haven't yet, or at the time that I was working with them, they didn't, is that they're too damn casual. They're just like super casual about it. Like, yeah, I'll get to that later. Yeah, I'll
Mhm.
get when I have time.
Yeah.
When I have time, I'll read, you know, or when I have time, I'll hit a meeting, or when I have time, I'll call you, or
Mhm.
when I have time, we'll get together. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, no, dude, like you got to get off today, like
Yeah.
now, like not later, now.
Yeah.
Like I've never heard anybody that was dope sick say, "You know, I'll get around to that. I'll get around to getting that
Right.
bag.
That's
Yeah,
what I
I'll
was
get
gonna
around to
say.
it
It was,
when I have time." You know?
yeah, it was, for the years that I've been coming around, that was kind of how I approached it my first couple attempts at
Just
sobriety.
casually.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
me too.
like, yeah, I'll do that, and I drug my feet and took forever doing stuff, but that's why this time it was like, no, I'm getting to work right now.
Yeah, because that's
And it
ego and it's
was,
entitlement.
yeah, and it was like it's time. And I mean, I hit it hard
Yeah, I know you
right off
did.
the
Oh,
bat.
I witnessed it. I know you did.
And
And
I
imagine that you got results.
right,
Yeah.
right. So, but that was the mindset I had, was like, I never once said I don't have time to go to the dope man or the liquor store. I
No,
always had time for that.
always.
Didn't matter what.
I'll sit in a parking lot for 2 hours waiting on
Yeah,
this guy.
two, that's it.
No, I'll wait longer, however
Right.
long it
Like,
takes.
yeah,
But like
like,
waiting on this guy around the corner.
yeah,
Oh, you've been around the
know,
corner for an hour and a half, bro.
yeah. And my sponsor that I had at the time, when I first got sober this time, it was, and I still, typically, now there's days where I don't, but for the most part, like, everywhere I go, it might not be on my person, but it's in my car. Like, I take my recovery with me.
Hmm.
My backpack has got all my books in it,
Right.
my journals that I can write in. Like, and that was something in
Keeps
the
that thing on him.
right, but that was something in the beginning that my sponsor, like, I remember we hadn't even like started working the steps yet, but I remember coming into the meeting and he asked me, like, where's your where's your big book at? And I was like, oh, it's at the house. And he was like, did you ever leave home without your dope? Did you ever leave? And I'm like, well, no. And he's like, so why the fuck are you walking around without your recovery? And you're just, And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So at that point, it was like, no, everywhere I go, I got to take this backpack with my stuff with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when it came to working the steps, I never had any excuse for I don't have time or, well, I did, but I didn't have my stuff with me. You know what I mean? It was all, oh, you're on lunch break. You got an hour on your lunch break. Guess what? You got some time right there
Mm-hmm.
to sit down and do some work. It's about how do you want it?
Yeah, let me see your phone and see how much time you spend scrolling every day
Right.
on your phone.
Yeah.
Probably 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like you can tell me you can't carve out 30 minutes to read the doctor's opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You're just lazy.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. It's these are character defects.
Yeah.
And that's what I was taught the same thing. It's like, would you ever go to class and not bring your book?
Yeah.
Your textbook? Like I heard you say in a meeting the other day that this is a textbook. So then why don't you bring it to class?
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing.
Well,
It's just as a point of reference.
yeah.
And these days, like we have it on our phone.
Right.
I still bring my book when I go to meetings, but if I don't have it, I've at least got it on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have access
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what is it? And you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but so we've established that recovery promises discomfort, but what does it actually deliver?
The freedom.
Freedom.
Yeah. I mean, finally,
So we've said that on here a million times. So like, what is freedom? Like what to you? Like what does freedom mean to you?
freedom to me. So, I mean, there's different things that play into that freedom, such as all these emotions we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to regulate emotions today. I'm able to understand what's going on, and I don't have to react
Right.
based off of that emotion. That's a part of freedom to me.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to go where I want, when I want, and do the things that I want to do without fear, that's freedom to me, right? Having, I don't have a desire. The thought of drinking and drugging it's not a thing anymore. Obviously, I look and see booze and people talk about like it's always there, but it's never a thought.
Right.
Like the thought never crosses my mind, no matter what the situation is today, whether I'm upset with my wife or something at work happens, which in my line of work, that's almost daily.
Daily. Yeah.
Something
Hourly.
happens. Whatever the situation is that life throws at me, to pick up a drink or drug over it is never a thought.
Right.
And that's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different aspects to the freedom, but
So what you're describing there is no longer being a slave.
yeah,
Because let's be honest, man, we were slaves. We were
100%,
in
yeah.
bondage,
Yeah.
like chains,
Mm-hmm.
And when they finally hit the floor, man, it's like you just finally walk around. It's like, oh my God, it's like I've been carrying around 6 other people on my back,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm no longer carrying this weight, right? I'm not a slave to drugs and alcohol. I'm also not a slave to circumstances. I'm not a slave to other people anymore. I'm not so dependent on other people's validation. Do you like me? Like I'm free from self,
Mm-hmm.
right? It says in the big book of free me from the bondage of self,
Yeah.
right? In the 3rd step prayer. It doesn't say free me from the bondage of vodka or free me from the bondage of opiates,
Mm-hmm.
from self, because that's what gets me all worked up, right? Because I haven't had a drink or a drug in over 5 years. And if I get upset today, it's not because of drugs or alcohol.
Yeah.
It's because I'm wrapped up in me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm letting someone else walk around in my mind with dirty feet, right? And I can't have that, right? Like I refuse to have that. Like that doesn't mean it never happens, but I have the freedom today. The freedom in that is, okay, I can look at it for what it is
Mm-hmm.
and say, okay, well, this is dumb.
Yeah.
I'm choosing right now to be pissed off. Like, and I don't want to do this. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to waste my day, right? We're not guaranteed tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
so why am I going to waste a day being caught up about a commercial I saw on TV
Yeah.
that was advertising Corona on the beach or whatever, right? Like, why am I going to get all worked up about that? Like, that's freedom. Like, I see that stuff and I'm like, oh, Corona commercial. It's no different than seeing a Pepsi commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just a drink. Like, I
Yeah.
don't see it as, oh, I can't watch this or that makes me want a beer. Like,
Yeah.
that alone is worth the price of the discomfort
Yeah.
for me in early recovery, right?
Yeah.
Because before the times when, so I relapsed one time and I blamed it on the movie Blow with
Oh yeah.
Johnny Depp,
Yeah.
right? I wasn't sober very long, like, I don't know, a couple weeks maybe. And I was like, I'm going to watch Intervention. So I watched Intervention and I was like, oh, Blow's on. I'm going to watch that, right? And my mind was racing, right? Like, I mean, I wasn't doing any kind of recovery. I was just dry, just white knuckle. I'm just not going to drink, right? And I started obsessing pretty quickly about
Yeah.
cocaine and about whatever drug it was on Intervention, right? And I blamed that. Well, I just shouldn't have watched. I knew better. I shouldn't have just watched that. I shouldn't have watched Blow.
No.
And it wasn't the movie. It was the fact that I was still sick. I was an untreated alcoholic,
Yeah.
right? And my brain was looking for some reason for me to be uncomfortable so that I would look for some comfort.
Yeah.
And I found it.
Yeah. That just listening to you talk right there reminded me of a conversation I had today at work. A coworker, she said, Evan, do you think you would want to come and marry us in Mexico? So I'm like, hell, you paying for my trip?
Right.
And I'm like, hey, I mean, I was like, I won't say no. I said, me and my wife could always use a good little getaway. I
Nice
was
little
like, and
free trip.
I've never been to Mexico. I was like, I wouldn't say it's not possible for me
Never
to do.
married anybody either.
Yeah,
Looking forward to doing that.
yeah, so, um, she had brought that up and then literally followed it up with, well, you don't drink. So,
Right.
like, you're going to miss out on the whole thing. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, the best part of it is just being out there getting blasted all day in the sun and
Right.
baking in the beat. And I'm like,
For you,
for
maybe.
you. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, like, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I do remember at one point in my life, that would have been my mindset too.
Right. Yeah.
And now she's not one of us.
Right.
But the way she acted was like, well, you wouldn't have no fun if you went to this. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, if you only knew the peace
Yeah.
and how much fun I would really
How much
have.
fun I'm gonna have people watching you
Yeah,
drunks.
like I would be totally fine being there with all of you all blasted on the beach, as you said,
Right.
and I would probably have way more fun than you all are.
Yeah. The next
Like
morning I'm gonna wake up feeling fine.
I'm gonna feel great. I'm gonna be able to go out and do what I want while y'all are just
Sick as fuck.
sick as fuck.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, like, I don't know. We got to count the cost, right? Like, on anything that we do, right? And the cost of freedom is, I mean, there's no free rides, right? There's no free lunch. In order to get free, you've got to do some work. You've
Yeah.
got to, like I said earlier, you've got to level your pride. You've got to nail your feet to the floor even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it.
Mhm.
That's when you got to just buckle down and say, no, I made a commitment that this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And one of the worst things that we can do when we start out in sobriety is break commitments.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It's like I used to always try to, when we used to have to like AMA block people, in treatment, that was something that I would a lot of times bring up to them because they'd be like, "No, man, I'm going to leave and I'm going to get with I'm going to go to a meeting, and like as soon as I leave here, I'm going to go to a meeting." And I was like, "Man, that's great and all, but like, do you really think the best thing that you can do to start off a new way of life is to break a commitment?
Yeah.
Like, do you really think that's a good idea? Like that's what you've always done, right?
Mhm.
So you're going to get what you've always got, right? So I don't know. We gotta put in the work. Like, I mean, that's just what it comes down to.
Mhm.
And there's so many people that'll say it. I'll do it. I'll do the work. But and they just, for whatever reason, ego comes back. That window closes.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying, like, we got to get off like today.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have. If you think you have time to be casual about it, then you don't understand this disease.
Mhm.
Because it wants to bury you. Like,
Yeah.
and if it doesn't want to bury you, it wants to keep you miserable long enough before it buries you.
Yeah.
Right. So, uh, like today, now,
Mhm.
not tomorrow, now.
Yeah.
Just like, with dope, I want to do it now, not tomorrow. you know,
Right.
no one's ever said that
Yeah.
in the history of addicts. Yeah, I could go get some dope right now, but you know what? It's raining. And
Right.
I'm probably just gonna wait till tomorrow,
Yeah.
when I'm gonna make a more responsible decision
Yeah.
and go do that tomorrow. We'll see what tomorrow brings.
You know, now that you mention that, so this was years ago, right? I was sober at the time, but I was going through a divorce,
Hmm.
right? And I wasn't using, I definitely wasn't sober. I was
Right.
dry and I was mentally and spiritually sick during
Right.
this point, and I'm going through this divorce. And I do remember I literally stockpiled pills and heroin and just whatever I could get. Like the place I worked at the time, people always had stuff. And I literally
For when the
was,
day
for
came.
when the day came that the divorce was finalized.
Oh, I
And I
got you
was
now.
like, after all this is settled, and in my mind, it was like, I don't want her to call me in there for drug tests and stuff, right?
Right.
During all this mess that was going on. And I remember just this jacket I had hanging in the closet. At that time, I had started staying at my dad's while the divorce was getting finalized, and I was just packing the pockets of this jacket, different stuff. And I
The
remember,
most valuable jacket in the
right.
world.
And of course, after it was finalized, I did full blown relapse after that. But I did. I
Where's my
was
jacket?
I was stopped, and it drove me insane that whole time because I'm like, it's right there. It's right there. But the
Yeah.
time's coming. You just wait.
You
You
just
just
wait.
wait.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. That's true. I did that. And it was difficult
Yeah,
to
oh,
hold
I'm
on
sure.
to
I can imagine.
it.
How many just all the yeah, I did that
Yeah.
stories that we've had are
Yeah.
just insane to me.
Yeah.
Oh my
That
Lord.
run didn't last too long. And that run didn't last long. It came crashing down pretty quick.
Pretty quick, huh?
So,
Oh my God.
mm,
Let's see. Sorry, I'm just reading a text here. Yeah, so I don't know. I just want to say this, man. Like, God's good,
yeah.
like, so I was telling you on the way over here, like, my son got in a car wreck today, and he got hit by a semi on the
Hmm.
expressway and did not get hurt at all.
Yeah.
Like, no one got hurt. And it's just a miracle to me, that things like that, like, I don't know. I'm just, like, my head's been everywhere today. Like, new job, like, I'm stressed the fuck out. Well, I'm not stressed out. I just have too much information coming in at one time. And then I get a phone call. I'm getting off in like 15 minutes and I get a call from him and I'm on the phone. So I just decline the call. Then I get a call from his mom right after. I'm like, fuck, something's not good.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, everything's okay. So, but before I talked to him, I just got a text from her. Zach was in an accident. You know, and my response, this is the freedom, right? My response wasn't, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Like, I want to get high. Like, I don't know. Like, I just, like you said earlier, like, that just doesn't happen.
Mhm.
It just gone, and I'm going on a tangent here, like something totally different because something just popped in my head. Um, One of the things that it delivers is a high that drugs can't touch, right? So I got a new sponsee, and the guy that I started sponsoring a couple months ago, we've been going to a meeting every Saturday, and we've been kind of going over some step work and hitting the meeting and stuff. And last Saturday we went, and I was like, "Hey, this new guy's coming." And we're driving. He doesn't have a car, so I pick him up and take him to the meeting. And we're in the car, and I'm like, "Look, man," it's like, "Go to the back of the book. I want you to read the fifth tradition, right?" And it basically just says that it is our primary purpose to carry the message to alcoholics who still suffer. And I was
Mhm.
like, "That's what you're doing today." I was like, "You're not sponsoring him, but I was like, we're gonna outline the program of action for him." And I was like, "And you're gonna help." It's like, you're going to be a part of this. You're not just going to sit back and watch me do it, right? You're going to be a part of this, and you're going to share your experience with where you're at now versus where you were at,
Mhm.
because they know each other because they were in treatment together, right? So we did that. And afterwards, we're walking out, and I look over at him, and he's just got this grin on his face. And I was like, "How you feel?" He was like, "Man," he was like, "I feel amazing right now." He said, "I was tired when we got here." And he was like, "I'm just full of energy." He's like, "I feel fantastic." I was like, "Welcome to the big leagues." I was
Yeah.
like, I was like, "Welcome to the team, man." I was like, "You're a part of this now." I was
Mhm.
like, "Before you were just kind of like a participant, like now, but now you're a part of it." I was like,
Yeah.
"Now you see why we do this, right?" I was like, "This is how I feel every time that I meet with you." He was like, "For real?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "This is a wonderful thing." I was like, "This is that spiritual experience. You're having a spiritual experience right now.
Mhm.
Like, you're getting to feel the power that comes from one addict helping another,
Yeah.
right?" And I was like, "This is why it's important that you keep going, because you can't rest on this feeling that you have right now to carry you for the rest of your life.
Mhm.
We keep having these things, and we keep having them, whether they're big or they're small, whether it's working with another alcoholic or at a meeting or a sponsee or whatever, like they pop up all the time, but
Mhm.
we notice them now,
Yeah.
and I've seen the light come on in this guy. Like, he was a mess. When he asked me to sponsor him, he was teared up, couldn't hardly get words together. He was in detox. He was struggling, and now he's just like a totally different person. Like, he's owning his shit.
Yeah.
He's making amends.
Mhm.
He's texting me every day. "Hey, when we going to hit a meeting, man? How you doing today? What's going on with you?" Like, it's not about, "Here's how I feel today. All me, me, me." He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, I see the shift
Yeah. You
in
see the
him.
light coming on.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's amazing. He's trying to get a new job, right? And he's like, "Man, I thought I was just stuck at that job that I was at." And he's like, he's trying to better himself. I'm like, "Dude, this is fantastic." And I just, I don't know, stuff like that, man. I love it because I didn't sit down and tell him the things like, "You can't make any decisions for a year." "You can't make any
Yeah.
changes." Like, God tells you when you're ready to make changes,
Mhm.
and I'm not telling him to just go make a bunch of changes, but if it's God's will, that's what he's doing,
Mhm.
but I don't know, man. I'm just really proud of the guy.
Yeah. That's
And the
awesome.
other guy's fallen off. The other guy's been casual about it,
Right.
but Mark wasn't casual. I've told you this before, like, I've had to beat him away with a
Right.
stick, like, because he wanted it, and he was
Mhm.
willing to do whatever. He looked at the cost and was like, "I'm willing to pay that cost."
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's a
That's
beautiful
good.
thing to
Good
see
shit.
recovery actually works,
Mhm.
but you have to do it.
Yeah.
Like that's just the thing. It doesn't matter how bad somebody wants it if they don't do it. I
Mhm.
can want to change my body, or I can want to be a better person, but if I don't take actions to do it, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It's just pointless. So
Yep.
I don't know, man. I think this was a pretty good discussion to have tonight. Because I think a lot of times we don't really look at things. We don't weigh the cost. We don't count the cost
Yeah.
on stuff a lot of times, and I think it's really important to do that before we go into something, so that we know, like what the deal is.
Yeah.
You
What are
know,
we signing up
what are
for?
we signing up for, and then you got to follow up with that. You got to
Mhm.
follow through with it. All right. So, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please,
Please.
please, please like and subscribe. Uh, Comment. We appreciate you. Thanks for everybody that supported us for the last year. I want to give a shout out to my son for being our audio technical wizard, because we're a couple cavemen. But other than that, man, you got anything else?
No, that's it. We love you guys.
All right. Love you guys. Until next week.